In this session, Supply Chain Now Radio's Scott Luton discusses key trends impacting supply chains today, including the use of sensors, long haul driver shortages, and supporting veterans.
All right, so talking about the top things to know in supply chain now, we're going to lead off. Technology is always a key theme on this radio show. I got a feeling we're going to talk about it a good bit today. First topic and top things to know in supply chain now, we're going to talk about supply chain sensors. Sensors continue to be more prevalent, practical, and inexpensive out in the industry. According to the Wall Street Journal, clothing retailer LL Bean, anybody's got a LL Bean jacket or book bag? Mm-hmm. Couple hands, and Mr. or Miss Bean will be happy. We got some customers here. LL Bean's going to be using the Internet of Things, IoT, and blockchain in special lines of outdoor coats and boots to get a better feel for how customers use the products. These two hot technologies are going to be combined to gather data such as temperature, as Trey was talking about in our warm-up session, how often the item is used, and the frequency of laundering. The primary aim of the program, according to LL Bean, is to be able to improve the design of these products based on actual data rather than the assumptions we all make from time to time, or maybe every hour. So really fascinating to see that level of application of truly supply chain sensors out on the products, gathering data as customers use the products.
Now, how are they kind of integrated into the product?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I will leave that to the tech folks and experts in the room.
Just threw that out there.
That's right. But I think the neat thing for me, the neat takeaway is for a while, supply chain sensors they were finding a tough way to get adopted in the industry from a cost perspective, from a practicality perspective, from a different type of technology perspective. But clearly, this is an example where it's cutting through the noise, and LL Bean is going to be making some very nice design changes and innovation based on exactly how the customers use the product.
Because the technology must be getting smaller and more flexible so they can integrate it into the product in a less obtrusive manner.
Yep. Much more inexpensive too. So in particular, moving on to number 2, one segment of the supply chain where sensors are hot is in our seaports. So you're going to see sensors applied to many of the containers for transparent visibility, tracking, and security. One of the key pistons, as we all know, in our robust Georgia economic development engine is the Port of Savannah, which continues to drive growth locally and regionally. So one of the top things to know, in finalized numbers for 2017, the Port of Savannah handled more than 4 million TEUs, which is an increase of 11% over 2016, which is a big year. And that 2017 figure is the highest annual volume ever. And I bet they'll top it again in 2018.
Wow.
So the port, big reason why Georgia is the number one state to do business in 5 years in a row now. So moving on number 3, of course, we need truck drivers to get all these goods from the port up into Georgia and up through the greater Southeast and across the country. We all know about the truck driver shortage that exists. According to DAT Solutions, at the start of this year, just one truck was available for every 12 loads needing to be shipped. It's remarkable. So how are firms getting creative with finding and hiring more drivers? Well, and what's not going to be a silver bullet, but, of course, they're trying to pay more, right? And some firms are even starting to pay drivers by the hour rather than by the mile. That's what I think my kids won't be paid by their chores, how long it takes them versus the chore itself. But really, you're getting creative, and we're going to have to because we're so many drivers behind what's needed. I think the latest statistic I saw was the industry is short 900,000 drivers, which is amazing here. So we'll see how this critical challenge continues to play out in the months ahead. So finally, speaking of workforce, of course, truck drivers are a critical part of supply chain workforce and makes things happen. We all know we need more talent to meet demand in the end-to-end supply chain. Elba and I the group was talking about that in the warm-up session. So what is one particular segment of the workforce that can help address the talent shortage? I would argue, a lot of folks argue, the veteran community. So according to J.P. Morgan Chase, 200,000 military members transition out of the service each year. I'm here to tell you that many of those transitions are very difficult for veterans, despite how experienced, talented, and capable these brave men and women are. In one development, so one of the ways we're trying to address that here in Atlanta, we're helping to get veterans out to the Georgia Logistics Summit and MODEX in April. So I know every hand is going to go up in this room when I've asked, who's heard of the Georgia Logistics Summit and MODEX. From April 9th to the 12th, close to 45,000 supply chain professionals will descend on Atlanta at the Georgia World Congress Center for one of the largest industry gatherings of the year, where Restaurant Row and hotel folks are really happy, right?
Yeah, full house.
Full house. So prime opportunity. This 4-day event is going to be a prime opportunity for veterans to get out and meet industry professionals to grow their network by making in-person connections, chat possible job and business opportunities, and really plug into the supply chain capital that Atlanta is. So I'm real proud to announce this. The Summit's Executive Committee is leading an effort to send at least 100 veterans to the Summit on a complimentary basis. So the state of Georgia has already discounted registration for veterans from $150 to $75 per ticket. But right now, we've already raised, and this initiative is about less than 2 weeks old, we've raised enough funds to send almost 60 veterans to the Summit on a free basis. Now, Modex is free to attend, but the Summit is that localized, 1,500 supply chain professional aspect of this whole week-long event. So we're going to hit at least 100, and want to give a quick shout out to our early sponsors here, Paige Siplon, Team One Logistics, Greg White and the Curo Global team, Daryl Penn and the C.H. Robinson team, John Haber and the Spend Management Experts team, and of course Talent Stream chipped in as well to so far send at least 60. So what's also really neat about this is we're working on possible value-added activities at the Summit for Veterans, including offering a certification program where they might be able to walk away from the Summit with a credential that companies like Amazon highly value. So talking about making that link and hopefully creating some job opportunities. We're also looking at setting up exclusive networking meet and greets at the Summit with Fortune 100 companies committed to hiring veterans, which is really important. So we're trying to get them out and then trying to get them plugged in and trying to really give them as much of a tangible deliverable on that experience as we can. So good stuff indeed. In the bigger picture, though, as part of this effort, we want to put a big spotlight on the challenges that veterans are facing in their transition. I think a lot of hiring managers, a lot of companies, despite all the great things, all the great companies out there that have made the commitment to hire veterans, a lot of folks still shy away. We were at a meeting yesterday where at the American Red Cross, where a National Guard and Reserve representative really talked about how many companies shy away from hiring that segment of the military community. So lots of challenges. So as part of the bigger picture, we want to put a spotlight on that. We want them to know about Luis in Savannah, who we spoke to a couple weeks ago. He retired from the military in May of last year after 22 years of service. Yet despite all of this incredible experience, he's still struggling to find a solid opportunity. That's not good enough. We want the business leadership community to know about Stephanie. We heard about, she's a combat veteran. We heard speak at the BEO Gala last Saturday night. Prior to obtaining shelter and resources at VEO campus, because VEO brought Stephanie in, Stephanie and her son were relying on McDonald's bathrooms for their personal hygiene and bathing needs. And she's a decorated combat veteran. That is unacceptable. We've got to do better. Supply chain makes it happen, and we're going to move the needle. So to our audience, if you're interested in helping our effort, or if you're a veteran looking to attend the summit, reach out to us at info@apexatlanta.org, and we will get you plugged in.
Now, how are you identifying these veterans? Like, where are you looking to find them?
That's a great question. We're open to each and every veteran that wants to come out to the summit, and we're going to try to find funding for each and every veteran that wants to come out. One of the challenges I know we have is making veterans, and I'm a veteran, making them aware of the opportunity that the summit is, especially for veterans looking to transition successfully into end-to-end supply chain roles. So that's a challenge. We're using social media, we're using our network, our industry associations.
Are you partnering with some of the veteran associations like Vetlanta?
Great question. Yeah, Vetlanta, the group that was at the American Red Cross yesterday represented about 12 or 13 different institutions or government agencies that take care of veterans. We're putting the word out there. If you're a veteran that wants to make connections in the supply chain world, we're trying to get them out.
Right. You're offering this to 60 to 100 veterans. There's thousands of veterans.
That's right.
That are out there.
And if 1,000 veterans sign up, we're going to find funding for 1,000 veterans.
Right.
Yeah. So great question. I appreciate you sharing that. But we are not being selective, and regardless of what service, what you did in the military, if you want to make connections in supply chain, we want to get you out to the summit. So good questions, Lee.